Hi, everyone. It is May 6th, and I have a lot to talk to you about today. Um, I'm feeling good, which I think you can actually tell because I'm actually wearing something a little bit different. I'm wearing a bra today. Um, Funny, I was in the street, and this woman was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Are you going to France?" And I was like, "It's a Kango, not a beret." But anyway, that's another story. Um, so everyone has been so wonderful and so supportive, and I have been so touched by the people who've shared their stories with me and how they can relate to what I've been saying. And I want to address someone's words of encouragement, and I'm not attacking anyone, and please don't attack me. I am not a sciencey person, so I'm going to explain things that the way it works for me, and don't come for me. Um, but someone, in an attempt to encourage me, rebuked my depression and rebuked mental illness. And I am a believer. I know there is power in God. I know there is power in Jesus' name. Um, but it doesn't work like that. You don't rebuke away mental illness. You can certainly pray for people and get God's help, and um, but it is a disease. You don't rebuke someone's cancer. You don't rebuke someone's broken arm. Um, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that and kind of explain to you how I have grown to learn about my own mental illness. Um, I look at my brain as like as it was developing, all the parts of your brain are, again, not a sciencey person. Um, all the brain waves, it's all like that, right? And when you're happy, parts of your brain are going, and when you're sad, parts of your brain, and when you're learning certain things and you're being creative. Um, and when you're younger, your brain is still developing, which is why when teenagers, something happens to a teenager and they think it's the end of the world, it feels like that because their frontal lobe isn't fully developed. So it feels that dramatic and life or death. So sometimes when we dismiss teenagers, um, we shouldn't, because biologically, chemically, their brains are telling them that this is the biggest deal ever. Even though we know in 10 years they'll be like, it's not that big a deal. With that said, and everything I'm going to say has happened. Again, I am transparent, and if you want to know more, or someone needs support or wants to speak to me privately offline, we can. But I'm going to just kind of shoot some things out there, just to kind of explain how I think my brain got hardwired, in a way that I think a lot of people throw depression around all the time, and they're like, they lose their job and they're kind of bummed, and it's a dark time and it's a depressing time. But that's very different than having clinical depression. Um, so anyway, what I was saying is that my brain, it's going like everyone else's brain when they're younger, right? And then as a child, you deal with, different stressors, and you deal with life. So, I'm sexually abused at 3, and consistently sexually abused by different people, all the way till I was 15. So that I started dealing with that kind of trauma. Um, I was abandoned by my biological father at 6 months. So I have with abandonment issues, and I start preserving self, taking care of myself. Um, my brain starts getting hardwired to protect. Um, I lived in a home with addictions. I was in a very, I I got indoctrinated in the church, and a lot of things were manipulated in the name of God, and at a very early age. So I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with growing in a low-income household. I'm living with being a very smart child, a child who's seen too much, a child who doesn't really connect socially with her peers because her teachers have isolated her because she's special. So all of these different things are happening to me as a young person, and my brain starts to wire itself to handle those traumas. And because there have been so many traumas, I feel like now here I am, and it just kind of dawned on me that this is what I've done to preserve myself. So all of that said, it's about breaking down my mindset. It's about taking the medication that I need. It's about getting the therapy and kind of talking through and working through. It's about prayer and having faith. It's about support and friends, but I want us to be careful not to hide behind religiosity with mental health. Because in my opinion, it's not effective and it doesn't validate how the person feels. And especially for me, as someone who loves God so much, to feel sinful when I am struggling is a very dangerous road to walk down. And I have to believe that the God I serve, the Almighty, doesn't look at my depression or my anxiety or my PTSD as something I need to, rebuke. But it is a cross I live with and I need to bear, and I need to be open about it like everything else. So I just want to talk about that, religion a little bit, and brain makeup, and how our bodies are awesome things. Like, if you think about it, my body has created itself to make sure that I'm safe, and that's kind of awesome. And if you look at it like that, I don't know, it just doesn't make me feel as bad. So that's today's video, and again, post and share, and I will speak with you guys tomorrow. Bye.